I am with Generation Life, and we are a movement of young people that we travel up and down the East Coast, as far north as Boston, as far south as Virginia. We were actually in Staten Island 2 days ago.
We're just kind of like, woo, big turnaround.
We speak to young people like yourselves about the pro-life and chastity messages. Just a little bit about myself. I'm originally from New Jersey. You're not this New Jersey. There's one person. You're from New Jersey, like when you're from New Jersey, no one wants to live in New Jersey. All want to leave New Jersey.
But it's too cold there, right?
It's cold. It's
My mom's from New Jersey.
Is she?
Yeah.
They either like drive through New Jersey to get to the shore.
Because my mom's, Montvale, Hill, near Montvale, it's small. Isn't it like Hillsborough or something?
I'm from southern New Jersey, so I'm not sure. But we go up and down the East Coast, speaking to young people like yourselves about the pro-life and chastity. Before I joined Generation Life, I worked with special needs students. So I worked for about 8 or 9 years with students who, for whatever reason, could not be in a public school setting, whether it was for medical conditions or someone couldn't walk, someone couldn't speak. They just needed extra support. So they were in just a different setting. They were in to arrive. We're going to just watch a video just to get this ball rolling. And I just want you, ladies and gentlemen, to pay attention to some of the images and some of the words you see. And then we're going to talk about it.
Could you get the lights? The lights. Lights.
Wait, what was that thing? Because I'm blind, so I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Anything stick out to you, images, words?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I'm gonna describe what happened.
Let's just make a bear. Joined up.
Best part.
The guy jumping into that hole, all the words going.
There's a lot of images of people doing brave things, risking their lives, sort of showing the value of what is it worth.
Were there any words that stuck out to you?
I'm going to say life.
Life. What's your name?
Alex.
Alex. Life. Any other words?
Violence.
Fighting. What's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan. Fighting. Life. Fighting. There's a lot of images of people doing brave things. There was 9/11, the towers falling. So the question we're going to work through today is this life worth fighting for? Like I said, Generation Life is a dynamic group of young people. We spread the pro-life and chastity messages. But what do you think of when you hear the word pro-life? Yes.
Everybody having the right to live.
Everyone having the right to live. What's your name?
Me, oh, Caroline.
Caroline. Good. Everyone having the right to live. Anything else? Okay. So before I joined Generation Life, I would often hear the word pro-life, and it would just be like anti-abortion. I didn't really give the term pro-life any kind of thought. I wasn't like having discussions with my friends, like, let's talk about pro-life issues. It wasn't anything that I thought of. The moment when this actually became real to me is when my grandmother, the last few years of her life, it was becoming apparent to my family that she couldn't take care of herself. She was sick, and she just couldn't support herself. So we had to make a decision as a family to move her to a different setting. So she was living in a nursing home, and she had to depend on people to take care of her, to feed her, to bring her medications. She needed 24-hour care that my mom and my aunts and my uncles, we couldn't do. We weren't doctors. We couldn't take care of her. So we had to make the decision to put her in this nursing home. And it was really tough for her, and it was really tough for us as her family to be like, okay, Dorothy, you can't take care of yourself now. You're just more dependent on someone else to take care of you. So we had to make that transition for her. And I remember when I would go visit her, and my family would go visit, that there were a lot of other people that were living where she lived that didn't have a lot of visitors. People kind of like forgot about them. So that kind of made it more concrete for me. It's like, well, just because she's older and now she's more dependent on someone else, her life still has value, still has meaning. So when we're saying pro-life, we respect all life from the moment of conception until natural death. So that means the poor, the weak, the homeless, that kid in school that doesn't have a lot of friends, maybe that person on your soccer team or your basketball team that maybe they're the new kid that comes and they're like, they don't know anybody. So it just means respecting all life from the moment of conception until natural death. So how do we get here in 2017? Well, we see that often in history, there's patterns. So that when we take away someone's personhood or their dignity, they're treated less than. So we're just going to walk through some images of history. We're going to talk about what we see. So hopefully, you know what that first image is? Yes. Oh, that's good. What's your name? Jay. This is a picture of men during the Holocaust in the 1930s and 40s, where Jewish people and other groups of people were being discriminated against because they were seen as not a person.
And people with disabilities too.
Like, yes, people with disabilities and different religious backgrounds they had were being discriminated against. Exactly. And they were being discriminated against because of what they believed in, or maybe what they looked like, or what they could or couldn't do. And they were deemed as a non-person or a human non-person. A person is a legal term. That means that you deserve protection under the law. What is this next image of? It's kind of dark, so I don't think they have an idea. Slavery, good. What's your name? Joey? So good. About 250 years ago in our country, African Americans were discriminated against. They were seen as non-person. And so someone like myself, if I lived in 1856, they could pretty much buy and sell and trade me. They didn't treat me like a person. So my dad, who's actually from West Africa, so if he lived in the United States in 1856, they could come to our house at 2 o'clock in the morning and be, guess what, we're moving your whole entire family. We don't need you on this plantation or this farm. We're going to move you somewhere else where someone else can use you for labor or whatever. If you know what this picture is, who is in the picture? It's kind of tricky because I didn't know it.
Is it the women's suffrages movement?
So this is actually good. This is actually 3 out of the 5 women from the Alberta 5 in Canada. So there was actually a point in Canada in the 1920s where women were discriminated against for their gender, and they were not allowed to run for political office or public office.
And that was the year that they were about to vote in the United States. That was
So about the time you get here in America and in Canada, where these women are from, they were told because they were women, because of their gender, they were discriminated against, and they were not allowed to run for public office. But we know that's not the case in 2017, because we just had Hillary Clinton who just ran, and a few years prior to her, we had Sarah Palin who ran. What is this last image? Right. Fetus. Not a fetus. You're right, you whoever said fetus. It's not a goat, right? Not a puppy fetus, is it? It's a human fetus, right? So now we're currently in 2017 where human fetuses are being discriminated against because of their age. So they're being discriminated because of their age, and the legalization of abortion, that they're being told that their life does not have any value. But as you can see in the case of like the Holocaust and slavery and women's suffrage and now the human fetus, that just because something is legal doesn't make it right. So are you familiar with the case Roe versus Wade?
It rings a bell. I don't really know specifically what it does, but I know that it was the controversy of abortion.
Okay, so you've heard the case before?
Heard of it, not necessarily. I don't necessarily know what it does. Can you give me more background on that?
Okay, what is that for it? Joe, you gonna ask?
Supreme Court case that legalized abortion in the U.S.
Okay, so there was a case in 1973 where the Supreme Court just said that they didn't have enough evidence. They weren't really sure when life began. They didn't have the technology. They weren't sure. So abortion was legalized. So I'm just going to read you just a quick quote from this case. It says, "At this point in the development of man's knowledge, we cannot resolve the difficult question of when life begins. If this suggestion of field personhood is established, the case in support of legal abortion collapses. For the fetus's right to life would then be guaranteed specifically by the 14th Amendment." So basically what they were saying is that if they were sure when life began, if they had the technology to say that life began at this point, abortion would not be legal. But in 1973, they didn't have a lot of technological advances. So what year are we in right now? 2017. So now you
the
have...
14th Amendment, you did that one where they gave citizenship.
So we now have iPhones, we have drones, we have ultrasound machines, we have X-ray machines. I have an iPhone 5, so I'm like, no.
I got you. I just got this.
You got the 7, so you're like even more advanced than I am, see? But they're saying in 1973 they didn't have all this technology, so they just weren't sure. But we're going to just make this a little bit more concrete. So I need a brave volunteer. You don't even have to get up. You maybe have to say 2 words in the orange.
I'll go.
What's your name? Bobby. Hi, Bobby. Nice to meet you. So congratulations, Bobby. You've now been promoted. You are no longer a high school student. You're the head of your own demolition company.
All right.
Let's give Bobby a round of applause. You got your name on the building. You're on the team. You got uniform. So it is 3:10 on Monday. So I call you at 3:10 on Monday, Bobby, and I say, Bobby, I have this building in New Jersey. I need you to drive up to 4 hours or 5 hours or whatever. I need you to come out on Saturday. I need you to bring your whole team, your demolition crew. I need you to knock down this building. And you're like, okay, Adrian, that sounds a good idea. So you drive up, you bring your team. It's Saturday morning. It's 8 o'clock. The birds are tweeting, and the sun is shining. Whatever birds do, I'm like, I don't know. And there's no snow. It's just fantastic. You bring your whole team up, and you bring your crew. You drive up, and you get out of your trucks. And you're like, Adrian, did you check inside the building? And I'm like, Bobby, I haven't had time for that. Like, I had to go to the beach. You know, I had things to do. I haven't been in there in weeks. I don't know, but the windows are broken in. Everything's collapsed. I have no idea. But I have this nice, big, red, shiny button, and I need you to push it because I need you to knock down this building. Would you push the button?
See, the intelligent thing would be to check the building for anyone in it. You kind of asked the wrong person now, so I would push it. But the intelligent thing, the intelligent thing would be to find someone to go through and check the entire building.
Exactly. So you would err on the side of caution. You're kind of like, I would push the button, but in the back of your mind, you're like, I should go in there and check. There could be someone in there. There could be people in there. There could be anybody in there. So you actually proved that you're smarter than the Supreme Court justice. Ooh, nice. Just Bobby. Bobby. Now you know that you're back in high school now. But reality sets in. But just like Bobby said, initially he said, well, maybe I pushed the button, but in the back of his mind, he's like, there might be people in there. I'm not sure. You would check inside to be safe. But in 1973, they didn't have the technology that we have. They didn't have the ultrasound machines that we have now to prove when life began. So the next few slides might look a little weird. It's a combination of some computer-generated images and some 4D ultrasound images. So we're just going to walk through fetal development. So get ready. You're like, it's Monday.
Taking a ride.
Taking a ride.
Well, the good way to end my Monday though. Because
Jess.
this is-
Jess.
Alright, so this image is the moment
Can you go
of conception. So you
describe
have
it, or
millions
what's
of sperm racing from dad to that one egg from mom. So when that one sperm gets in that egg, the 43 chromosomes from mom, 43 chromosomes from dad, 46 chromosomes. Everything about you physically right now is decided. So whether you're going to be tall, whether you're going to be short, whether you're going to have curly hair, blonde hair, blue eyes, green eyes, whether you're going to be left-handed like me, or many of the left-handed people. In last school, it was like one person.
Give you an extra.
But everything about you is decided at this moment, at the moment of conception. Isn't that pretty neat? That's awesome. Everything about you is decided right there.
Like
Yes. So this is 20 hours after conception, 40 hours after conception, 60 hours after conception. This egg is making its way down his or her mother's fallopian tube. And once it gets to its mom's womb, it's going to nestle itself right in the uterine lining, make a little baby bed for itself for the next 9 months. It's actually at this point where this egg releases a hormone. So when a woman takes a pregnancy test, it's the hormones from the baby that let the mother know she's pregnant. So it's the baby's body that lets the mother know she's pregnant, not the mother's body. So what we're going to see here is the first heartbeat. First heartbeat there. 17 and 21 days after conception, the muscles are twitching, they're synchronizing themselves, getting ready for the first heartbeat. They're twitching, it's coming, I promise. It's coming, it's twitching. Alright. First heartbeat. Second heartbeat. So this is just 17 to 21 days after your conception. Has anyone been on a trampoline? Or like, your sky zone down here? You do? I'm terrible at any kind of athletic anything. I'm terrible. Well, this is actually, the baby is using, at 11 weeks, the baby is using his or her mother's uterus or womb as a trampoline. You see how active this baby is? Building his muscles and his legs. Just at 11 weeks. And mom can't even feel that yet. She can't even feel that. That baby is very, very, very active.
Is that ultrasound or?
This is just a,
Yeah, there's a 4D ultrasound. Wow.
see?
That's cool.
This is at just 12 weeks. So you see how large the baby's head is? You might notice that in some of these slides, the baby's head is really, really, really big. So the brain is developed, but it's telling the body when to develop or how to develop. So you see, he has a nose, his hands, his little fingers. So it's just 12 weeks. So unfortunately, this is the time when a lot of women are being told by their doctors that it's just a clump of cells. But we can clearly see by the images that we're looking at that that is a human. That's a baby. So you have eyelashes at this point. So even your fingerprints. So if you look at your hand, if you can see your hands, the fingerprints you have now are the exact same fingerprints that you had at 12 weeks. Isn't that awesome?
I think one of my kids was sucking their thumb.
Yeah. So, but this is the point, unfortunately, when a lot of women are being told it's just a clump of cells, it's not really a baby, and they end up having, abortions at this point. So this is an example of just the 4D ultrasound that I mentioned. The baby's eyes, your nose, your mouth. Your vocal cords are fully developed at this point, and your taste buds are fully developed at this point. It's about 25. About 25. I actually went to one of my friends. She had a 4D ultrasound done on her daughter, and she's like, "Adrian, you gotta see this picture. It's so cool. Look at it." So I got the picture, and I could see her daughter's face and her nose and her cheeks, and she had this like little dimple in her chin. Oh, that's so clear. We didn't have that like in 1980 or whatever, 80s, in the 80s when I was born. But and then she had her daughter, and I went to go visit her, and I'm like, wow, that 4D was like so clear. You could see that she had her mom's cheeks and her dad's nose, and she even had the little dimple on her chin. So technology has advanced. It's a little bit about myself. That's actually me here. I was actually born at about 26 weeks. So a little bit bigger than the 4D ultrasound that I just showed you. My parents didn't know, obviously I was coming at 26 weeks. I was super early. I was about 1 pound, 10 ounces or so. Even if you can see like a diaper, how small I was, like a diaper they had on me, they had to fold it under because I was so small. They had to like regulate my body temperature, try to keep me warm, so I couldn't do that by myself. And they had, they were giving me like blood transfusions because I was just so small and I was trying to keep warm. And that was in, several decades ago. So technology has advanced a lot more from 1980s to 2017. And this next clip we're going to see is just rapid fetal development. So everything we just saw over those last 4 or 5 slides in just fast motion. So it may look a little weird, but everyone in this room has gone through this. Okay, so it looks like an alien. They always say we need to have some kind of music in the background, but so you're going from the size a little bit smaller than a grain of sugar, and just let them on an exception until now. And then we have, what should we name them? We name them every slide.
Charles, Charlie.
We got that before, and everyone seems to go Charlie, little Charlie. But we've been calling him Timmy, but then they're like, we should name him George. George. But Charlie. So everybody has everything. Everybody went through this in your development, and from the moment of conception until your birth, you're born. The rate in which you develop, that's the fastest you'll ever develop in your entire life. So that's pretty amazing. From the size of a grain of sugar, to little Charlie right here. What I'm learning is, like I said, I used to work in a school setting, and I started working for Generation Life, is that even when I would tell my coworkers or like my family, they're like, what are you going to go do? And I'm like, I'm going to be a pro-life speaker. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, all right, have a good day, bye. But what I'm learning is that sometimes you'll find yourself in conversations with people, whether it's family or friends or whomever you come across. And you'll say, I'm pro-life, and then there's a dialogue. And sometimes it's positive dialogue, sometimes people are confrontational, sometimes, we're just there to be just a peaceful witness support for people. And so we have this acronym called the SLED acronym that we use to work through when you might find yourself in a situation where you're in a conversation with someone and you don't know what to say or you don't know what to do. So the first one is size. So for example, I have a nephew, his name's Andre, he's about 2 years old. He comes up maybe to like about my waist here. He walks a little bit, he kind of sort of talk, but he's a little smaller than me. Does it make him any less of a person that's just smaller?
No, he's still the same value.
Right, so the same value, just smaller. He looks exactly like he's supposed to look for a 2-year-old. So someone who's 6 months old, or 6 months in the womb, or 3 months in the womb, they look exactly how they're supposed to look for that point in their development, in their age. So you guys look exactly how you're supposed to look for your age. I look exactly how I'm supposed to look for my age. My nephew Andre, who's 2, if he was like 6'7" and he was 2 years old, I'd be like, that's kind of weird. But so sometimes people will say, well, like the baby in the womb is so small, it's not really a person. But a baby in the womb looks exactly how they're supposed to look for the period in development that they're at. The second one is level of development. So we'll use my nephew Andre again. So like I said, he's 2. So if I were to call the house and I'm like, Andre, I'm baking a cake. I don't have any eggs. So I need you to get in the car. I need you to go drive to the grocery store. I need you to get me some eggs. I need you to bring it to the house because I have to bake this cake. Is he going to be able to go to the store?
No.
First of all, drive a car and go to the store. Why not? There's no how. He hasn't learned how to drive. I hope he's not in the car driving to the shop or whatever. Because I'd be a little afraid. But he's 2. He doesn't have the skills yet. He hasn't learned what he needs to learn to be able to get a license and get in a car and drive. So the third one would be environment. So before we came here, like 2 days ago, we were in New York. We were in Staten Island. Before I came to this classroom, I was driving down, I think, Fairfax to get here. I was in a different environment. Am I any less of a person if I'm just in a different environment?
No.
So if we all go on a field trip, and we go on a plane, and we go to, I don't know, California, we're going to Disney World, whatever. We're on a plane, we're driving to Disney World. Are you any less of a person because you're in a different state?
No.
You're no longer in Virginia? You're in a different state, right? Some people will say, like, a baby in the womb is not really a baby. It's just, but it's in a different location. It's just 6 inches down the birth canal from being in the womb to being out of the womb that they say that it's legal to abort a baby. So it's in a different location. And dependence. So again, we'll use my nephew Andre again. Like you said, if I called him, I'm like, I need you to go to the store and get some eggs. Go get in the car and go drive. He can't do that. He has Margaret. He's dependent on his mother Pat, to take care of him, to feed him, to clothe him, to dress him in the morning. I have an older nephew, Sean, who's 11. He's dependent on the bus driver to take him to school. He can't drive a car. Even when I brought it back to like my grandmother, she was older, but she was still dependent on people to take care of her, because she couldn't take care of herself, or she didn't have the skills. Does that make you any less of a person because you're dependent on somebody?
No.
Right. You're dependent on your teachers to teach you, so you learn. You're dependent on your coaches. If you're learning a new sport, to teach you how to play. You're dependent on, if you have older brothers or sisters or whomever, to teach you skills that you need. But they'll say sometimes that a baby in the womb, because it's dependent on its mother for nutrients and everything else, they're not a person. But we know that just because someone's smaller than you, or they haven't learned the skills that you've learned, or they're in a different environment, or they're dependent, that it makes them less of a person, and it makes a person feel like them. But we know that's not the case. If you don't believe me, you can take advice from a doctor. A person is a person no matter how small. Dr. Seuss. I love that movie, Dr. Seuss. But, like I said, as I started working for Generation Life, unfortunately, when I tell people that I'm pro-life, there's another side to this conversation, and abortion actually is a reality that some people go through it. So, my coworkers and I will go to, in Philadelphia, we'll go out in front of a women's center, and we're just like a peaceful presence for people, for women if they want to talk, and so they feel like they're not alone, they feel like they have people to talk to, and like I said, sometimes, we never know when we're speaking to anyone, we never know where they're at, we never know if they've been affected by abortion, we never know if they've known somebody, so we always want to have just a peaceful dialogue with someone, even if they're confrontational, we're there to just be a presence, and let them know that they have other options, let them know that there are people that will listen to them, and they can have home and healing. Spiritual Vineyard, it's in PA, but this is a place for men and women to go to get the counseling and the help they need if they are dealing with abortion. And actually, I'm going to tell you a story about a woman named Donna. When Donna was 19 years old, she and her friend Ben, they just found themselves engaging in some not so safe, some risky behavior, and Donna found herself pregnant. So Donna and Ben went to Donna's father, and then they sat down, and she had the courage to just have this conversation with her dad, and she's like, Dad, I'm pregnant. And her dad's like, that's just not a smart thing to do. Why would you do something like that? I can't believe it. You're on your way to go to college. And he said, Donna, you have two options. He said, you can have an abortion, or you can put your dreams on hold, go into college, and you can raise your child. And I'm happy to say that Donna chose life, and I'm really glad she did, because her daughter, this is my coworker Mary, she's not here today. This is Mary here. This is Donna. This is Mary in the middle of her kindergarten graduation. Isn't that cute? And some other Donna and her father Ben. And they went on to, they're now remarried, they have families, and Donna's mother Mary's mother, Donna, is actually applying to colleges and just to go back to school. So though she had to make that sacrifice for Mary and put her dreams of going to college on hold, she was brave enough, she chose life, and she made that sacrifice to raise her daughter. But it gets better. Mary's actually engaged, and at this time when Mary's mother, Donna, found herself with an unplanned pregnancy, there was a couple in Boston, Massachusetts, 16-year-old couple, and they found themselves in the situation of an unplanned pregnancy, and they too chose life. They had a little boy named Brendan, and Brendan is actually Mary's fiance. So he's not pictured here, but we have the case of two separate couples or people who had the courage, they chose life. And now they have, Mary and Brendan are getting married, and they have an opportunity to now, have children. It's a generation that's going to keep going. Have you heard of Nick Cannon? America's Got Talent? Or America's Got Talent, I think it is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wild and out.
Falling Out, maybe MTV. If that's still a thing anymore, I don't even know. I didn't even watch that. But I didn't know this about Nick Cannon, but when his mother was 17 years old, she found herself with an unplanned pregnancy. And she was afraid. She didn't know how she was support herself. She didn't know any of these things about her future. And she found herself at an abortion clinic, and she was going to have an abortion. And in the last minute, she changed her mind. She chose life, and that Nick Cannon is here today as proof. He did a videos to her, just a tribute to her decision.
I'm talking, Mom. I know the situation is personal, but it's something that has to be told. As I was making this beat, you was all I could think about. You heard my voice. Just think. What if you could just blink yourself away? Just wait, just pause for a second. Let me plead my case. It's the late 70s, huh? You 17, huh? And having me, that'll ruin everything, huh? It's a lot of angels waiting on their wings. You see me in your sleep, so you can't kill your dreams. $300, that's the price of living. What? Mommy, I don't like this clinic. Hopefully you make the right decision and don't go through with the knife incision. But it's hard to make the right move when you in high school. How you gotta work all day and take night school. Hopping on the bus and the rain is pouring. What you want, morning sickness or the sickness of morning? I'll always be a part of you. Just your soul, it's always true. If I get tough, I say to you, can I live? Can I live? I'll always be a part of you. Just your soul, it's always true. If I get tough, I say to you, can I live? Can I live? I'm a child of the king, ain't no need to go fear me. And I see them flowing tears, so I know that you hear me. When I move in your womb, that's me being scary. Cause who knows what my future holds? Yo, the truth be told, you ain't told a soul. Yo, you ain't even showing, I'm just 2 months old. Through your clothes, try to hide me, deny me. Win up 3 sizes, your pride got you lying. Saying ain't nothing but a migraine. It ain't surprising, you not trying to be a wick food lines. Your friends will look at you funny, but look at you, mommy. That's a life inside, take a look at your tummy. What is becoming, mom? Oprah bound. You can tell he a star from the ultrasound. Our spirits connect, the doors open now. Nothing but love and respect ain't to hold me down. She let me live. I'll always be a part of you. Just your soul, know it's always true. If I could talk, I say to you, can I live? Can I live? I'll always be a part of you. Just your soul, know it's always true. If I could talk, I say to you, can I live? Can I live? I'll always be a part of you. Just your soul, know it's always
You would know who this is. You can tell it's what the peanut butter is. It's actually Faith Hill. I didn't know. She went on to be the Grammy Award singer and she's a family of her own. And she has children now. Because her mother made that courageous choice to place Faith up for adoption to give her the life maybe that she felt she couldn't give her. This is actually a gentleman. His name is Ryan Baumberger. I didn't know about him until about a week or so ago, about 2 weeks ago. He spoke at a pro-life conference that my coworker and I just went to, and he was actually conceived from rape. And as traumatic and as just, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to go through that experience. And his mother, he said he actually he never met his mother, but he said that if he ever had a chance to meet her, that even though she went through this horrific, traumatic experience, that he would just say thank you for the choice, for giving me life. And he was adopted. It was this picture of him and his mother, his adopted mother. He was adopted into a family with 13 brothers and sisters, so this is like this middle picture here. 10 of the 13 children were adopted. I think this is mine, maybe like right right here. They all look different, so they were all adopted out of different situations and different circumstances. And this bottom picture here is that's Ryan all the way on the right in the orange. So his wife Bethany and their 4 kids, and two of their 4 kids were actually adopted. This is Miss Pennsylvania 2014. This is Valerie Gatto. She was also conceived from rape, and her mother, like I said, even though she went through this traumatic, just this experience I couldn't even imagine what it would be like. She chose life as well, and she raised Valerie, and Valerie was raised with her grandparents, and now Valerie goes around the East Coast speaking to other people about just pro-life issues. So that was pretty amazing. And this last person I didn't actually know. This little guy right here. Does anyone have an iPhone or an iMac or
Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs.
Is he adopted from Syria?
I don't know actually where his family is. I think they were refugees when they came to America. It's so funny, like even in like this picture here, like he has this little hand like practicing holding an iPhone. I think that's pretty cute to see here. Just even like he's a co-founder of Apple, and he was also adopted, but just through that experience and all the amazing things that he was able to share with the world, all the technology and all these things that we have now. But it's like Dr. Martin Luther King says, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Like I said, sometimes when you're speaking about pro-life issues with anyone, about anything, sometimes with anything in life, honestly, sometimes you'll come up to resistance where people are like, I don't want to hear it. Like we go to these abortion clinics and we're just standing there. We're just standing there. Literally, we're silent and we just stand there. And they see us and they're like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want your literature. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. And we still stand there and just want women to know, and men too, that there are options and they have choices. And sometimes people are going to be confrontational. Sometimes, like I said, we never know what they're going through in their lives. We don't know what they're bringing with them, whatever things in their past that they're dealing with. But just remember that, like I said, with anything in life, that you should never be afraid to speak out about things that matter to you. Sometimes the people that you're talking to, they're not listening to you. Sometimes they are. You never know, like if you say something, like even if it's in the hallway or on the bus or whatever, who's listening to you? Because you might say something, and someone like 3 tables over will be like, wow, it's really awesome when Kevin said that, or like Michelle said that thing like 2 weeks ago, and I thought that was really awesome. Or she stood up to that bully or someone who didn't have any friends. You know, I thought that was really cool that she did that. So you should never become silent about things that matter. If you find people around you that can support you, you have this awesome club here, that people that can support you and just help you. And know that some days are going to be rough days, but you know, I went to the March for Life, my first March for Life about a month ago. Has anyone been to the March for Life? Maybe we're seeing it too. When I went, for some reason in my head, I had this idea that I was going to go to Washington, D.C. and get off this bus and see like a bunch of like 70-year-old people just like out there in their parkas, like with their signs, like March for, like, you know. But the thing that I noticed immediately is there were so many young people out there. So your generation here. They were out there and they were marching and they had their signs and they were speaking up and they were just being brave and they were speaking about things that matter and they weren't letting, you know, the culture kind of say, you know, it's not cool to talk about that because you guys know that it matters. And I really feel like this generation is going to be the generation that ends abortion. But Chris Stefanik, really cool speaker. He has a video that kind of just wraps up everything that we've spoken about today. Since it's so much.
I'm in Washington, D.C. at the annual March for Life, about to speak to 8,000 young people. Down the street at the Verizon Center, they're preparing the room for 18,000 young people. Now, the only reason we don't have more people at these events is that they're maxed out. There's no seats left. The Diocese of Arlington put on 2 different events for 17,000 kids. This young generation is pro-life. You know, young people have a way of seeing past all our rhetoric when it comes to this debate. The science is undeniable. A fetus is a human life. A baby at 18 days has a heartbeat, brain waves at 42 days, all body systems present at 8 weeks, fingernails at 11 weeks, has vocal cords and can cry at 12 weeks, can feel pain at 20 weeks, and at 23 weeks, can survive if delivered instead of being aborted. The ethics of abortion, it's undeniably clear. The impact on women's become clearer and clearer over time, too. A book recently written called Complications cites 650 papers, most of them are medical journals, that shows that abortion has a negative impact on almost every aspect of a woman's health, from infertility to autoimmune disease to breast cancer to mental health disorders. By the way, if that's you, check out Project Rachel, hopeafterabortion.com, because there's always hope. The medical community is clear. Abortion is never necessary to save a mother's life. But sometimes there's a procedure that has to be done that indirectly results in the death of the baby. Like when mom needs chemotherapy and it indirectly results in the death of her fetus. Or if there's an ectopic pregnancy and the part of the fallopian tube that the baby's in has to be removed. But that's not the same as an abortion. It's not the same as directly killing that child. And if it sounds like I'm splitting hairs here, you know what? It's pretty important to split hairs when it comes to a human life. But all that aside, the number of abortions performed that are even pretending to be to help the mom and save her life are astronomically small, next to the number of abortions done as a matter of convenience. Or worse, the number of abortions done because women are ill-informed and they truly feel like there's no other option. And they didn't go to a crisis pregnancy center but found their way into a Planned Parenthood instead by accident. There's always another option. Life is always an option. And if you don't want your baby, someone does. In July 2013, Father Tom Vanderwood in Virginia learned of a couple that was about to abort their Down syndrome baby and they couldn't find someone to adopt. He posted it on the parish Facebook page. Got about 900 emails. Got so many phone calls they had to have volunteers come in and man the phones. Hundreds of people said, if you don't want your baby who even has Down syndrome, we do. Life is always a choice. We forged the United States into a culture of death. A place where it's survival of the fittest. If you come in my way and you're smaller than me, you have to go. Because the human race was made for more than that. You know what else is crystal clear? This is the generation that's going to end it.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Any questions or maybe something like that you're thinking about? Yes.
When you said at the beginning about nursing homes, so you didn't make a decision for your grandma. Yeah. And then did you also say that like there were other people that didn't have visitors?
Sometimes.
Oh, because I actually can relate to that because my grandfather on my dad's side got into the assisted living last year, I think. And I know it's really much when my grandmother didn't feel like he had a roommate that he was only pregnant that like one time like rammed her into a wall.
Respect pro-life, like I said, from the moment of conception to natural death, it's all walks of life. Like I said, whether it's the person here who doesn't have like friends, whether it's the new kid in school or someone on like a team you play, and you play,
They all count as a person.
they all count as a person. It just looks different wherever journey you are in your life. And we're Gen Life. We're on social media. We're on Facebook. Is anybody on Facebook?
I am.
You're on Facebook. Every school is like. We have Snapchat. We just got that, so now we're cool now. Twitter. We have Instagram. We're trying.
Also, find you on Facebook.
Awesome. So thank you for your time. I know it's a little warm in here. If you have any questions or something pops up later or you're hang around for the